This Champions League Kicks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now, use the code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on football, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code SGP. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code CFBX. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL. Win up to 20x in one game. Using the promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, no idea, to within a week. The 20th, 14th, 19th?
In the middle, 17th.
Sunday, the 17th of September. It's we're going to have a little look back over the Premier League weekend, which hasn't quite finished. But we've got Champions League action starting on Tuesday, which all of a sudden, for the first time in 20 years, is really interesting. Joining me from Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Hello, Baz.
Evening, Malcolm. How we doing?
Yeah, tremendous. You've got some new setup there. Well, we've both moved into the posh end tonight, I think, because I'm watching the Red Zone right here, watching the NFL. I'm guessing, are you doing the same thing?
No, I'm still in the kitchen. I've just changed my my angles.
Change your angles, have you?
I've changed my angles. I've got a bit of a new setup. I've got tripod, ring lights, phone setup type thing. And I thought I'd try sitting over by the back door now. So I've just changed the angle, that's all.
Well, yeah, the other reason to come in here is that apparently my reception or internet was a bit shit on Wednesday night. So if that did annoy a few people, I'm terribly sorry about that, and we'll try our best not to make it up again. The weird thing is I've done like 150 MLB shows with like Munaf, who lives 4,000 miles away, and it's never any problem. And then I talk to you a couple of hours down the road. So yeah, the chat is making me laugh already. Jonathan, new name in the chat. Jonathan was here waiting for us. Jonathan Pearson, good evening. Courtney's turned up just to say she's not turning up, which is a nice touch, Courtney. So thanks for putting your letter of apology in. She gave a thumbs up, but the NFL's on for Courtney, apparently. We're all watching the NFL, it's fine. Sweating Derrick Henry, Tennessee, some other things as we speak. Decent weekend, the Premier League, Baz. I mean, yeah, there was some good games, wasn't there? There was some late action. Wasn't hugely exciting. Newcastle scraped a win. How did your weekend go?
Started really, really well. I got off to a flyer. Can you hear me okay, Mal?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll tell you if your new influencer setup goes wrong, Baz, I'll point you out.
It's gone wrong. I'm off the phone already.
Has it gone wrong already?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I don't know what's going on.
You need me to send the IT department down, don't you?
Yeah, weekend started really well. I got off to a good start with the Liverpool. I mean, I say the weekend went really well. I feel like I've had a lot of good fortune with it as well.
Mate, you can't beat that. That's perfect.
But you need it, yeah. I mean, obviously the Liverpool game, I took Liverpool handicap. Liverpool should have probably been a couple behind that first half. Wolves played really well. And then once Liverpool got back into it, it felt like there was only one winner. So late goals there got me the Liverpool handicap. And then moved on to the Saturday afternoon. And I got 4 out of 5 right on those 3 p.m. games. The only one that let me down was Fulham v Luton. I took over 2.5, and it was a pick I never really liked that much, to be honest. But, have to make a pick on every game. Yeah, I got fortunate on Spurs. I took both teams to score. So Spurs didn't equalise till very, very late on. I got fortunate with Villa moneyline because they scored in injury time to win that one. Man United over 3.5 was easy enough. and the Man City handicap won easy enough. So really, really solid start. 5 out of 6 on the Saturday afternoon stuff. And then Newcastle was another one where I said to you at the time, I didn't have any really strong feelings for Newcastle game either way. I thought Newcastle were a little bit too short. I didn't want to back Newcastle for multiple goals and things like that. So I forced it a bit with a corners bet. That didn't really get close. I needed 12. We finished on 10, but 3 of them were in that last sort of flurry at the end where Newcastle were just defending in the corner. So yeah, 2 picks yesterday that weren't very good at all. But 5 winners in amongst it made it a decent day yesterday. Today, no cigar for me. I took Bournemouth. I was a little bit unlucky. I didn't watch the first half, but you'd messaged me asking what I was on, and you said I had a real live chance. I got home and watched the last half hour or so. Bournemouth created chances right at the death. Last 10 minutes, there was several chances they could have nicked it. So they were it was an underdog pick, almost 4-1. So you pay your money, you take your chance with us. I could have played it different. I feel like I got the Chelsea game right. Really, I said I haven't seen anything from Chelsea so far this season to suggest they should be odds on away from home to a team like Bolton.
We did mention the fact that they never win.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
ever.
So odds on away from home, Chelsea just wasn't something that entertained me. And I could have went with Bournemouth in the handicap or Bournemouth double chance and pick the winner. But I wanted to be bold. I wanted to go for the outsider in that one. And it didn't quite come off. But it is what it is.
No, there's worse.
I mean,
Chelsea, there's worse 4-1 shots that you'll take this season than that one. That Bournemouth one, Baz, definitely.
Chelsea, they've spent. How much did they spend this window? Another 300 million, 400 million? I lose count. But they don't look much better than last season. They're probably slightly better. But I think people are over. I said at the time when they beat Luton 3-0, the next week, everyone was expecting it to be the same again. Everyone was piling on Chelsea players in fantasy football. Sterling had one good week and then he's done nothing since. But when I watch them, I just think they still can't score. And as you say, they still can't win. So yeah, Chelsea's definitely one to keep an eye on for me to fade, because I don't think they've got that much better for all the money they've spent. And
the difference is they've got a good manager and he's had 5 games. So you'd expect maybe in February, that's when you'll be wanting them to go on a 6-7 game unbeaten run, something like that. Like Postecoglou's come in and had an instant reaction. Fair enough, good. Pochettino hasn't had that, but I think it probably will come.
Yeah, and Jonathan's saying they've got a lot of injuries. I mean, as I say, Jackson's been a problem for them, and had Nkunku stayed fit, maybe it would have been different. But yeah, they're still a long way off. I tell you what, who hasn't got any better as well for all the money they've spent. Bless them. They don't get much back in from their owners, but Man United.
Oh, it's a shit. No, I've got me.
Only spent 200 million in the summer, and they've got worse. Man United have spent 200 million and got worse.
Half of might get me yellow and green scarf out tonight, Baz, in solidarity. Poor, I mean, terrible. I feel awful for them.
Onana hasn't done out. Mount never played. Fair enough. I mean, Højlund, you've still got to give him a chance. But who else did they bring in? Amrabat, still not played.
You've got to rise out the Courtney, Baz, so that worked.
Worse team now than they did last year. I've just read tonight, apparently Wan-Bissaka is now out for 2 months.
He is, yeah.
Is they're picking up loads of injuries, aren't they? Shaw's out for a while, now probably Wan-Bissaka. And then they keep getting players doing silly things like Greenwood and Sancho, Anthony. So yeah, lots of players unavailable for them, but must be a big concern. We'll come on to Man United because I've covered them in the Champions League.
Oh, okay.
As well, so.
Yeah, we'll come on. Also, Baz, you went talking about the influencer setup. You went live on TikTok on Saturday. Do you want to talk us through that?
Yes.
I think I've just realised, by the way, Baz, who Jonathan is. He's PO. We've been having a little chat on our Twitter page, so that makes a bit more sense now. But yeah, you went live, didn't you, son?
Yeah, went on yesterday morning to try out the old TikTok live. And it was decent, to be fair. I planned to chat for about half an hour, literally just waffling through the games, and people were putting in their questions or their picks that they fancied. Pio got involved, and that was massive help because he kept it ticking along as well. But there was plenty of people got involved. There's about 600 people dropped in over the whole hour.
Wow.
I mean, the most of it was like 15 to 20 people in, but people dipped in, dipped out, and it was good fun. I quite enjoyed it, so I'll be doing that every week now. So
well done. I might try and get involved rather than just sitting doing nothing.
But yeah, it was good to just have a bit chat. We nearly actually on the TikTok. I got a few of the people who were involved to each put out one selection on the Liverpool game.
Yeah,
and the first 4 selections were put in a bet builder.
Okay.
7-1. So I took Szoboszlai 2 shots on goal. Someone else put Cunha up for a shot on target. They both came in. Cards, I think Pio put cards out as 4 or more. That came in. The only one that didn't was Salah to score any time. So if Salah had bagged a goal, we'd have hit the 7-1 bet builder on the first TikTok live as well. So got a little.
That's a good idea, Baz. The TikTok bet builder. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, my weekend was fine, bang average. I'm sitting here just about exactly where I started. So the bet 9 units, return 9.3. You know, 1-4, lost 4 with 1 push. It was all like my building block bets that won all the 10 to 11 and 5 to 4s.
Yeah.
So I was kind of I was losing one, then getting me money back on the next one. Take my entire weekend back to Cunha missing that header for Wolves in the first half, because I took Wolves at 7-1. I felt like I handicapped it really well. Liverpool had lots of injuries. They were tired. Klopp's been moaning on about that. They got backed in. I actually mentioned line movement, didn't I, on the show? A bit tongue-in-cheek. 7-1 I backed them at. They went off at 17-4 plus 425. So they really did come in price and went 1-0 up. And old mate, he's got to score that header. He just completely fucked it, didn't he?
Didn't know what to do, did he?
No, he just got it all. So that was the end of that, really. The one of the week wasn't miles away, finished 1-0, and Luton missed some chances. I felt like I left that one out there. My only bad pick at the weekend was Man United. For some reason, I thought, I don't know if it was a bad pick because they played quite well early on. But if you watch Match of the Day, I'm not claiming credit for this analysis, but you just watch how De Zerbi outcoached Ten Hag after 20 minutes. De Zerbi worked out what had gone on, worked out how to beat it, and then went and executed. And it was absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, that was a good watch. If you haven't watched that, try and track that down. Yeah, it was all right. We've got one game left tomorrow, which is Forest and Burnley. So I've got Forest on the money line. What was your pick, Baz?
I've got Burnley.
Oh, you've got Burnley. Oh, what the fuck? Well, that's no use to anyone at all, that, Barry.
The underdog. So, yeah, we'll see. One of us might have a winner tomorrow.
And we're going to have a little look on the Champions League. I'm going to caveat my Champions League picks just by saying I'm pretty new to it in terms of having I would normally on a Tuesday, Wednesday night sit and have a bet. But this is the first time I've ever looked at it with a sort of analytical eye because Newcastle have been involved, and I'm normally either see it doing the baseball or I would just stick a tenner double on or something like a mug punter rather than having a look at it. But we're sort of learning as we go with the Champions League. If anyone's in the chat and got any good picks, stick them out. I've got one small piece of lifestyle. Baz, are you interested?
Oh, crack on with that.
So this morning, kids football was called off. Well, actually, we played on Thursday night instead of today. So we had a free morning, nothing to do. So I was bored. So I went out in the garden, Baz, and thought I'd prefer the word landscaping to gardening. Now, you're fully aware of my what I'm capable of generally. I'm very lazy and I'm also incompetent. But I just wanted to fill some time in till the football started. So I was arsing, I had a spade out, I was mucking about. And the level of respect I get here, Baz, is the IT department was at the kitchen window videoing me to send it to all my mates because she couldn't believe what I was doing. Same time, my 13-year-old daughter is hanging out of a bedroom window shouting, "Go on, fat boy," at me. So that was my morning. I came in after about 20 minutes, all of a sweat. I just made a big pile of mud like a kid, and then got back to back in the 11.
I wish my football had been cancelled this morning.
Oh, did you get humped?
Absolutely. Like, it was 10 out. 10 out. 10 out.
Oh dear. So you can't dress that up, Baz, can you?
And the score didn't flatter them in any way. It wasn't
no. Wasn't a lucky 10 out.
And it was a game we went into expecting to be competitive. We beat them 4-1 last time we played them.
Oh, Baz.
I mean, we're only 2 games into a season where we've just moved up to 11 aside. And I know they played a ton of friendlies over the summer, and I think they've just adapted to 11 aside a bit more than us. We just couldn't get the ball off them. We just shocking, absolutely shocking. It was a horror show, and we haven't had many of them. My team, to be fair, we're normally in quite competitive games every week, but I was a disappointment. I had to sort of consider my future for a little while. As you know, we threw the lead away 6 times last week, finished with a 6-6 draw. And then a 10-goal hammering. So yeah, not great on the grassroots.
6-6 followed by a 10-0. Oh dear, Baz. Right.
News, Malcolm.
Yes.
I had to get the pest man out yesterday.
What, for the lizard?
We had wasps.
Oh no! When do you let the lizard out? Would he not get them?
If you had wasps, the wasps were in the roof.
Right.
So you see them going to the roof tiles, right up above the house, loads of wasps flying around. They never came down. They never bothered us. They never come in the house. What would you do?
Leave them.
Leave them.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'd do. Helen was adamant. So you can't let all those wasps be like running around in the loft. I said, well, we don't use the loft. The loft's closed. It never gets opened. It would never, ever have any reason to go to the loft. Just leave it. They'll die off. She was adamant. So I refused to phone the pest man. So eventually she phoned and said, the pest man's coming tomorrow. It's £60 to remove it. £60? He was here 10 minutes. He sprayed a bit of powder.
Well, why didn't you go and remove the wasps?
What was that?
Why didn't you? Did you not fancy that? It would have been a better story for the show if you'd have gone and sorted the wasps out yourself.
I'm not getting up a bloody ladder. Bollocks to that.
You love a ladder, Baz?
I do love a ladder. Not that kind of ladder, though.
Yes, you see, people think this shit happens by accident.
Yeah,
right, we'll try.
He's right, though. You should just leave them alone. They die off.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently they don't even come back. Like bees will come back the next year and repopulate the nest. But wasps just fuck off. I'd have just left them. But it was her £60 at the end of the day. I said, if you want to spend £60, get your purse out.
If we haven't got a T-shirt with "Wasps just fuck off" written on in the merch store, there's in a couple of weeks, Baz, there's something seriously wrong with this company. So we'll crack on with some Champions League. I've got 2 games going to overtime here, Baz, in the NFL. This is exciting. DraftKings, another week of NFL is right in front of us. DraftKings Sports keeping us going on the NFL with the new customer offer: bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. DraftKings doesn't stop there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. So football's more fun when you're on the action. Download the app, sign up with the code SGP. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting part of the NFL with the code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. And Game Time, the ticket people. Game Time, making buying tickets to your favourite events far less stressful. Get tickets for sports, music, comedy and theatre near you. Killer deals, last-minute tickets. The Game Time guarantee will credit 100% the difference if you can buy a ticket in the same section and all for less as well. So they've got football, hockey, baseball, concerts, comedy. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CFBX. That's a new code to usual, so note that down. CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem the code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Right. How do you want to tackle this, Baz? I've taken 4 games. I did tell you, normally we often don't discuss, but I did tell you which 4 games I've done, just because I didn't want to double up on all of them. Do you want to go in chronological order? Do you want to go in? I've got one favourite play, or you can do whatever you like.
And 2 from Wednesday, and I think we've crossed over on 3 of the games anyway. You told me.
Right, so why would you do, if I told you what I've done, why would you then pick the same games?
Because that's not how it works, Malcolm. if I fancy something, I'm going to put it out there. And I'm not having you taking first dibs. It's not like calling shotgun on the passenger seat in the car or anything, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but it's kind of implied. The reason I told you was you could pick different ones.
Don't imply things, Malcolm. If you didn't want me to pick them, just tell me. But anyway, I ignored you and I did my own thing. Thank you very much.
All right. Oh, well. Well, I think there's only one place to start, really, Baz. Actually, it's chronologically the first game off, but it's also the only game anyone's interested in global football, which is a Tuesday, 5:45, which is 12:45 Eastern Time kickoff between AC Milan and Newcastle United. AC Milan have line movement bar. I love this line movement report. I handicapped this on Saturday morning. AC Milan were 13-10 plus 130. They are now plus 155, so they're just over 6-4. AC Milan, and that's because they got absolutely humped today, I'm guessing. The draws at 13-5 plus 260, and Newcastle, who were plus 187, are now plus 162. So Newcastle are 13-8 from 15-8. This is Newcastle's first appearance in the Champions League in 20 years. It's very exciting. There's lots of boys and girls flying out from Newcastle Airport today. Everyone was showing their the standard airport pint photograph. So everyone disappeared off to Milan to stand by that manky old canal for 2 days, which looks awful on the pictures. AC Milan had won 3 out of 3 in the Italian league. 3 really good wins as well. They'd scored 10 goals. However, they went up in the Milan derby today against Inter and got humped 5-1, an absolutely terrible result. In their group last year in this competition, they won half of the games. They won 3 of 6. Newcastle had a wobbly start. There were probably reasons for it. We hadn't had a different start to last season, but I think the expectation was higher this time around, which was the problem. Did okay against Brentford, grew into the game. The clean sheet was really important. The goal that got ruled out was awful, but did carry a little bit of luck and won 1-0. My instinct immediately here was both teams to score, but that was my instinct in the Brentford game as well. However, it's also way too short. It's 4-7, minus 175. But if you think I'm giving anything else than a Newcastle win here, you're just playing stupid. I've got no choice. Newcastle 15-8 plus 187. Or if that price has gone everywhere, 13-8 plus 162. I'm only ever picking Newcastle.
Right. I mean, I start off the same way as you thought. Goals. As you say, AC were off to a good start. 3 from 3, but then that unravelled at the weekend. I mean, Newcastle made a number of changes at the weekend. Tonali, Joe Linton, Isak, Almiron, all rested, so they'll all come into it fresh. I am intrigued to see how Newcastle set up, whether he's got any kind of different master plan for these European games to the usual 4-3-3. And also see how he plans to fit Tonali back in, because, you know, most of the talk is that it hasn't been working with Tonali, Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes. So interested to see how it goes, because I thought Longstaff played quite well yesterday as well. I
agree with you. I thought he was excellent.
I don't think AC Milan are a team for Newcastle to fear, and I think Newcastle will play on the front foot and try and set a marker in this first game. So I don't mind being ambitious and taking a win. I'll be honest, though, it's just not a game I particularly want to have a bet on. Or even make a pick on. I just want to enjoy the game. I'm looking forward to sitting down after work on Tuesday night. I've already told the parents for the girls' team that I will not be at training on Tuesday night. I'll leave it to the others to coach them. I'm hopeless anyway at coaching, it turns out, so that won't make a difference.
True.
But I have made a pick, obviously, because this is Newcastle, and we had to make a pick on this one. And I thought the goals, both teams to score, was one. Both teams have only got 1 clean sheet each this season, so I think both will score. But I'll also tag on the over 2.5 goals to bring it up to evens. So both teams to score and over 2.5 goals here at evens is a pick for me. So yeah, AC Milan and Newcastle both to score and over 2.5.
These 2 NFL games I'm watching that have gone to overtime, Baz. But both teams, it's the Whites v the Blues. But on one game I'm cheering on the Whites, and the other game I'm cheering on the Blues, and it keeps cutting between the two, and I've no idea if I'm coming or going. I don't know. I'm cheering on things that are bad. I'm celebrating. I'm all over the place. Like,
and Derek Henry hasn't hit his rushing yards, has he?
Doesn't look like it's got to overtime though, so he's live.
Yeah, is this the first try?
Anyway, right. So you didn't like that game, Baz. Find us one that you did.
Young Boys versus Leipzig. This is a Tuesday night game also. It's also 7:40.
It's the same time. It's the early kickoff, yeah.
Early game. Young Boys at 17-4, 3-1 the draw, and 8-13 Leipzig. I like Leipzig here. They're at 8-13. Definitely one to add to any Ackers, I think. But I like them to get goals also. They've been in great goal scoring form this season. They beat Bayern 3-0 in the season opener in the Super Cup. They lost their first game of the season, but lost it 3-2, so still managed to get on the score sheet twice. And then they've won the next three in Bundesliga, scoring 11 in the process. 5 competitive games so far. They've scored 15 goals. Over 2.5 hit in all of them. The over 2.5 is short at 4-7 again. But two players I like. I think Leipzig, -1 on the Asian handicap at evens, looks a great pick. Or a more ambitious one, I think Leipzig to score 3 or more goals, which they've done 4 out of 5 games so far this season. That's at 13-8, plus 167. I mean, Young Boys are unbeaten this season, and they've had 5 clean sheets in a row. So going against them in terms of goals might seem a little bit daft, but it's just a big difference in the Swiss league opposition to come up against one of the big boys from the German league. So yeah, I'm taking Leipzig here. Main pick for me will be Leipzig on the Asian handicap, -1 at evens. So we cash that if Leipzig win by 2 or more. And it's a push if Leipzig just win by the single goal. But I do like Leipzig to get 3 or more goals as well at 13-8.
Okay, fair enough. It turns out I've made 5 picks, Baz. I've just turned my sheet over, and I've got 4 more on this page, so I've got 5. All of mine are Wednesday night. So have you got anything on Tuesday you want to crank out?
You've got the PSG game, haven't you?
Is that Tuesday? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So one of the Tuesday night games, Baz, if you didn't know, is PSG against Borussia Dortmund, where PSG are 4-6, -150. The draw is 14-5, plus 280. Dortmund are 4-1. My answer to this, Baz, is that PSG aren't very good. They've won 2 out of 5. They lost at home against Nice 3-2 at the weekend. They play in a rubbish league, completely and utterly waste of time league. It's like Scotland with garlic in it, this league, effectively. That's all it is. It's like they don't often play enough games against opposition of this standard. The standard that Dortmund are going to throw. Dortmund haven't started great either. Had 1-2 and drawn 2 in the league. Did get a 4-2 win at Freiburg this weekend. Again, goals galore is too short. Again, both teams to score and over 2.5 where your instinct plays. But yeah, like I say, way too skinny. I want to fade PSG, but it was hard to find how. I think Dortmund can get a result, but I wasn't brave enough to take them on the outright market. I'm taking Dortmund plus half a goal, Baz. And the reason I've done that is it's the same as pretty much what am I going to say here? It's
the double chance. You've took Dortmund double chance. Yeah.
Well, no, I haven't. I've taken, because that would be 2 bets, Baz. What I've taken here, Baz, is 1 bet. It's Dortmund plus half a goal, and that is 6-5 plus 120.
I agree. It's 1 bet, but you just can't come back at me and tell me it's 2 bets in future.
Well, you can, because that's a draw no bet. So there's only one option for me. I'm either going to win, or I'm going to lose. There's no bet going on.
I've got a pick for the same game, and it's very well. I'll say it's very similar to my pick in the Newcastle game, but it's actually identical. So I like the goals, yeah. And as you say, it's a bit short. Both teams are showing plenty of form for goals. Both teams to score, hitting the last 4 for Paris Saint-Germain and the last 3 for Dortmund. Last 3 PSG games have seen 14 total goals, and the last 3 Dortmund games have seen 12 total goals. As you see, over 2.5 is short. It's 4-7. Both teams to score is 4-7. But like I did earlier, I'm just going to tag them both together. 5-6 for both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at -120. But I also like, I'm getting on Mbappe in the scorer market. 10-11 Mbappe anytime, and 4-1 Mbappe to score 2 or more. 16-1 for a hat-trick. He was left out the squad for their opening game of the season, but since return, he's scored 7 in 4 games, and he's scored a brace in each of his last 3 games now. So he's in great form. Dortmund have conceded 5 in their last 3, so they will give up chances. And if they give them up to Mbappe, he'll take them in his current form. So it's not a massive price, but Mbappe 10-11 for an anytime scorer in a game where I think there will be a lot of goals, and Mbappe for 2 or more at 4-1.
Yeah, I did say he got both their goals the other night in that defeat against Nice at home. Okay, more to come. I'll tell you about Hall of Fame bets. Hall of Fame bets are bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. You can enter any parlays into Hall of Fame bets. Parlay Optimizer 2, you'll get hit rates broken down by league, expected probabilities, sort players by hit rate, and all sorts of stuff like that. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use the code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets and Underdog Fantasy. A great way to play alongside your favourite football team. On a Sunday night, you can win up to 20 times your money in a single game. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real money. Just go 5 for 5 on your unders or overs. Watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash. At underdogfantasy.com, use the promo code SGPN. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Right, I'm giving my, this is my lock, Baz. This is my pick of the week. I love this one. As much as I said I wasn't too comfortable having a look around and finding stuff here, I found this, Baz, and I heart. It's the very bottom game on the card. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff on the Wednesday, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time, and it's Sevilla against Lens. Lens to you, Baz. Do you know what league the Lens play in, Baz?
It's the Scottish League with garlic.
This league. You need to practice. Come on, I'm trying to get you to practice your league. Remember? Yeah. Sevilla are 11-13. I haven't wrote that down. It's about -115. The draw's 5-2. And Lens are 16-5 plus 3-20. Sevilla, not a great start of the season. They played 3, lost 3 until today. They beat Las Palmas 1-0 today. Did you notice all the Las Palmas players missed their flight?
I saw that. I think you retweeted that.
Did you see that? They all went for a coffee just as the gate was closing. Not about 8 of them went for a coffee just as the gate was closing, and all missed their flight to Seville. But they're just a different. So they got that win over Las Palmas, but they're just a different proposition in Europe. As I mean, they won Europa League for the 100th time last season. They always win that thing. And the main handicap here, Baz, is that Lens are absolutely cack. They're 19th in League 1. They've had 1 home draw and 3 away defeats. That was before this weekend, actually. They lost 1-0 at home to Metz. So that's 1 draw, 4 defeats. They conceded 3 goals in every away game that they've played. And that's all I needed to see. Plus, the Spanish League is a whole lot better than the French League, which is just another form line to go through. Like I said, Lens were playing teams like Metz, who were bang average. I mean, Metz would be a championship team, and they're turning Lens over at home. So I'm really just taking the relative merits of both teams, not historical Euro form or anything like that, but decent team in a decent league against a team who were woefully out of form, coming from a poor league away from home where they've been terrible. Sevilla at 11-13, Baz, am I play of the day?
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I haven't gone to that game, but you've talked me into that one. I like the sound of that, definitely. Next one up for me, and I know you've got this game covered as well, so I'll be really interested to see where you've gone. on the Arsenal v PSV game.
I've got the same as you, I reckon, Buzz.
Arsenal v PSV. Arsenal. Oh, what price are Arsenal? Something really, really.
2-5.
2-5 Arsenal. 15-4 the draw, and 15-2 PSV. Arsenal, I just think, are so short that it makes me instantly want to find a way to take PSV in some fashion. The obvious way for me was on the handicap. PSV on the handicap. Arsenal have only won one game this season by 2 or more, and that was thanks to 2 injury time goals versus Man United. So that came really, really late. The 3 home games they've had so far, they've not kept a clean sheet. Man United scored, Fulham scored twice, Forest scored. So, there's no big form for them managing to keep teams out necessarily. Obviously, they kept a clean sheet against Everton today, but everyone does. But PSV are in really good form, albeit in the Dutch league. I know it's not as competitive, but they haven't lost a competitive game since back in February. I think that was Sevilla, actually, who beat them in the Europa League. They've only drawn 3 games in that time as well, so it's lots of wins. They've just had back-to-back 4-0 wins. They put 7 past Rangers over 2 legs, and they put 7 past Sturm Graz over 2 legs in the qualifiers. Now, obviously, Arsenal's a step up, but this is a team who's been winning form, with a winning mentality, in great form domestically. And I just think they can come to Arsenal and have a go and at least get a goal. And if they score here, I think they can cover the handicap. PSV over 1.5 on the Asian handicap is 4-5. The 2 teams played each other last year twice in the Europa League. They knocked Arsenal out. They beat them 2-0 at home, and Arsenal only managed a 1-0 at the Emirates. So they would have covered that handicap there. So the main pick for me, I think PSV over 1.5 Asian handicap's a great bet. But I'm also going to have a little bit on PSV to score 2 or more at 3-1. And PSV on the money line is not a bad price, 15-2. It's ambitious. I know it's a big step up from who they play week to week. But again, as I say, they're just in good form. And 15-2 against an Arsenal side who haven't really hit the same levels they were at, last season at a peak. I think it's a great price. It's worth having a little go on them as an underdog as well. So, yeah, a few things there. The main pick for me would be the handicap. I think is the safest play, but I don't mind taking PSV to grab a couple of goals or PSV on the money line for small stakes.
Completely at the other end, Baz. Absolutely at the other end. Arsenal Asian handicap is my pick at even money. Even a first half Arsenal Asian handicap -1.5 is 22-7 plus 315. Arsenal not been breathtaking, but they've been functional, which is exactly what happened again today. I think if Martinelli's injured, it knocks a little bit off them. But PSV have won 4-4, or it might be 5-5 now. They won again 4-0. But again, it's just a different proposition. They qualified by beating Rangers. The game in Scotland finished 2-2, Baz. We've already discussed what a dog shit league. We've just seen Aston Villa beat Hibs 1,000-0. I don't know what point that 4-2 Rangers is anywhere competitive. That's PSV. You went to Rangers and drew 2-2, and now going to Arsenal. I'm not buying it at all. I have the notes that you've written down about the Europa League and that. Arsenal are ready for this. Arsenal are absolutely ready. They haven't played in the Champions League for a long time, have they? It's about 7 years or something. So they'll absolutely hit the ground running here. They're going to be bang up for it. So yeah, go totally the other way. Arsenal 2-0 up by half time. Asian handicap and first half Asian handicap, Barry.
We were on the complete opposite side of Arsenal today as well, because I thought today Arsenal would go and run riot, and you went the opposite way on that one. So we were complete opposites, and you got it right that time. And we've switched. Now you think Arsenal will be lively, and I don't. PSV are a better side than Everton. If you put PSV up against Arsenal, up against Everton, they'd probably beat them.
I tell you what, I know we've moved on from the Premier League chat, but fucking Everton, Jesus. Gary Neville near the end of the game described their performance as basic, which is one of the, and he was absolutely spot on. I think Sean Dyche, he's got better players than that. The players deserve more what he's asking them to do. He's asking them to set up like it's 1962. Get 4 big fucking farmers at the back. Get another 2 up front and just run it. The players are better than that. They could not keep the ball. It was hot potato. They had no intention of keeping the ball either, by the way. And they were happy to win, to lose 1 now. That was their plan. Like, if they didn't lose 1 out, it would be a miracle. And Sean Dyche has got a lot to answer for there. Like, they deserve better, absolutely.
Talked about this on the TikTok, actually, because Pio had mentioned he'd been shortened right in from about 5-2 last week to something like 4-5, favourite for the next one to get the sack.
Yeah.
And I said, I think some of that's probably because they've got new owners now, just been taken over. And as always the case, you get a new owner, they might have their own ideas, and probably they've got less loyalty because it wasn't their man. It's easier to get rid of him. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do make an early change. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I think. Circling the
that's absolutely circling the drain. I've got one more game, Baz. Where do you stand at this point?
You've got one more game, and I'm going to go up next.
Okay.
Josh has just popped in.
Hello, Josh.
Right, I've gone with Bayern Munich versus Man United, Malcolm.
Yes, good game to cover.
I just felt I had to because Man U was such a shambles.
It's funny, isn't it? We get to talk about Man United again, and you just enjoy that.
I don't know who Josh supports. Josh should let us know because he's a regular. I'm not. It's always nice to know who your audience is in the live chat before.
Yeah, just so we don't slag them off. We'll slag them off when they're not here. I'll start writing it down, Baz, when they're not in. Like Nick's not here. We'll give Man United loads, but
yeah, Bayern Munich 8-15, the draw 7-2, and Man United 9-2. I mean, one bet that just jumped off the page to me was somewhere I often look. I go straight to the Asian handicap and see where the bookies have got this sat, because you can see exactly where they think the even money plays. I mean, I just can't think of any positive way to look at this from a Man United point of view. They're in a complete mess. I said earlier, they spent 180 million or something and they've got worse. Since the 1-0 versus Wolves on the first weekend, they've conceded 10 goals now in 4 games, conceded 6 in the last 2. And now they're going away to a Bayern side who've just scored 11 in the last 4 games. I mean, Bayern had a poor result the weekend. They drew with Leverkusen 2-2. But honestly, I just can't make a case for Man United here. And Bayern on the Asian handicap, -1 at 10-11, just looks like a really, really strong play for me. I love that pick because I can't see anything but a Bayern win. And I think Bayern will be able to score several goals in the same way that Brighton could, in the same way that Arsenal could, in the same way that Forest could put a couple past Man United.
Tottenham.
Away from home as well, you know, that we know their best form is at Old Trafford, and they haven't even been very good at Old Trafford this year. So yeah, Bayern on the Asian handicap -1 at 10-11. So you need Bayern to win by 2 to win, but you push if they only win by 1. But also Bayern Munich to score 3 or more at 11-8, plus 137. I just think it could unravel for Man United here. They're at a low ebb. They're not playing well. Pressure's on them. Lots of injuries. It sounds like Wan-Bissaka's going to be out now. I think it could get messy. Bayern to score 3 or more at 11-8 is another one I like. So yeah, I'll be playing Bayern on the Asian handicap and Bayern to score 3 or more.
Yeah, I didn't look at this game at all, Baz, but I mean, we have talked about Manchester United, and it's not like what I'm struggling with Man United is where's the improvement coming from? Because Ten Hag's had a long time, and I think I said before, like you instantly see what Postecoglou's attempting to do. You could always see what Arteta was attempting to do. You can even see what Sean Dyche is attempting to do. That's fairly obvious. And Iraola at Bournemouth and teams like that. I've still got no idea what Ten Hag's trying. What Man United are supposed to be. Like Rashford flashed yesterday again. He looked quite good in bits. He was getting some stick for not passing the ball. I'm just going to have to cut off there. Do you remember I said the other day Simmers can't join the comments? But he would say, he's just texted me and said, scratch your nose. So I'm assuming he's sitting in the house, unable to get on. and he just wants me to send a signal that I've got his message. So here we go, Simmers. This is me scratching my nose. Barry, scratch your nose for him as well. So, yeah, Rashford flashed, but I just don't know what they're trying. He tried that diamond yesterday with completely incorrect personnel. Casemiro's ambling down like a 45-year-old, according to Gabriel Bonloho. Bruno Fernandes ended up playing right back. The whole thing's just a mess, like Baz. I just don't get it. And it's not just me being an idiot, dickhead, taking the piss out of Man United. That's great. We all enjoy that. But this is genuinely, because I do the same with Tottenham and Arsenal, but you can see what they're trying to do. And I just don't know where Man United are going. Like, and I got one more game, Baz, and this is my dog of the week. And the game is going to be Galatasaray against Copenhagen. Galatasaray are 3-5, minus 166. The draw is 16-5 plus 320. In Copenhagen, who are going to be my pick here, are 17-4 plus 425. I think it's just the teams and the leagues that they come from are closer together than the prices suggest here. Galatasaray have won 3 of 4, 4 or 5. Now they won 4-2 against Samsunspor yesterday. Now they won the league last year. The year before that, they finished 14th in the table. So they're lacking a season of recent European experience. And again, that league's it's fun and wild, and there's a lot of insane stuff goes on in there, but it's not hugely competitive. And the Turkish teams are notoriously awful travellers in Europe. I get that this is home spot. You get the welcome to hell and all that stuff. I just think anywhere you go now in modern football is just slightly more asinine. Copenhagen perennially win the Danish league. They're well versed in Champions League football. Last year they drew 3 and lost 3 in the group. They have a really tough group. They had Manchester City, they had Dortmund, they had Sevilla. They've won 6 of 8 in the league. It was 6 of 7 before. Today they got an away draw today. Galatasaray are a step down from the sort of top level Champions League teams. And I just don't think there's much between them, Baz. I thought if I see the Galatasaray have won, I will not be surprised. But I thought Copenhagen should be closer to a 5-2 shot or something than over 4-1. So I'll take a little punt on Copenhagen, Baz.
Nice. You got anything else? Do you put any ACCAs, scorers, anything like that?
I did put in. I've got a goal scorer, yeah.
Well, I combined my goal scorer and ACCA and made it a goal scorer ACCA. So I'll parlay. I'll put. Well, you put your score out first, Malcolm.
My scorer. If I'll give you a few clues here, Baz. He's a bit of a show favourite. You picked him on several occasions, and I think it was Europa League and possibly World Cup that you threw him out a few times in. Anything? So
it must be an Arsenal player.
No. Oh no, it's from some of them. They're foreigners, Baz. Yes, Barry. Well done. Barry wins. The answer is Yusuf En-Nesyri. They're a bit of a show favourite. I've given out the fact that I think Sevilla will smash the daylights out of Lens. And therefore, Nesyri is 7-2 first and last. And plus 130, 13-10, anytime goal scorer, Baz.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I'll definitely have a go. As you say, he's come good for us in a few games over the last year. I've gone with like proper goal scorer favourites, but chucked them in a treble and a fourfold. So I've gone for Kane because Bayern are going to run up a score. And Mbappe will definitely score. And just chuck in Lewandowski for Barcelona, who are playing against, is it Braga, I think? Kane and Mbappe, Lewandowski, they are all obviously big favourites, but 9-2 plus 450 for the three of them. And then chuck in another big favourite at Napoli, Osimhen. That takes you up to 10-1 for a four-player parlay. So Kane,
who's Lewandowski play for now? Barcelona,
yeah.
Antwerp, that is, but
Antwerp is it? Yeah. So yeah, Kane, Mbappe, Lewandowski, treble 9-2, and add in Osimhen for a four-timer 10-1.
Champion. I think we've done it, Buzz.
I think I would also caveat my Champions League picks with the fact that I wasn't feeling it. Like,
really?
I found it difficult. Out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I think the more the Champions League goes on, I'll get a bit more of a feel for it and have a bit more knowledge of some of these sides. But it was a difficult first week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Immensely so. Can't wait for it to kick off on Tuesday. But
I just think being honest about this, Baz, because like the last week, I'll sit down on Tuesday and Wednesday and watch all the Champions League games this week, and I haven't done that for years because we've not been in it. And sometimes you need a bit of time off from, if you've been Premier League all weekend, then there's been Monday night games, and I'm still doing the MLB, and I would rather have sat and had a Championship acca or a League One acca than sit and watch Feyenoord v Celtic or whoever it was. However, I haven't had BT Sport, so I just haven't been able to get it on. I've got the old Fire Stick now, so I would probably watch more. But for several reasons, I've just not really been into it. But that doesn't mean we can't sit here and learn together and throw out some picks and hopefully be better on Matchday 6 than we were on Matchday 1. And when we've got 9 out of 9 bars, it just shows that we're very shrewd young men, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got something. I've got a challenge for our listeners. I love setting challenges for reviews and likes and all of that sort of thing. So a few weeks ago, I said we had 48 reviews on Spotify, and we needed to get to 50. And people listened, and they went and they done it. And within a week, we got up to 65 or something. So 17 people went and left us a 5-star review, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
Last week, I said we were 7 subscribers short on YouTube of hitting 300 subscribers. And we've now got 310. So 17 people listened, subscribed, done it.
Nice.
So keep doing those 2 things. This week, I'm going to push the Apple reviews. Because Apple reviews, you can give a 5-star review, but you can also say a few nice words. And I know from our download numbers that there are hundreds. The majority of our listeners and downloads all come from people who are listening on Apple. So if you are on Apple and you can leave us a review, because the bosses get to see those reviews on Apple as well. They show up, don't they, in the company chat. So yeah, if you're on Apple and you can leave us a review and you haven't done so already, that would be greatly appreciated.
If you would like me or Barry to scratch any part of our body live on air, then put that in the review and we'll do it next week. No problem. We'll have a right good scratch for you. Anything else, Baz, to tell the people before we go?
No, I want to know about your container ship full of Lego story.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know if it's time or place now. It's not great. Now I'm going to keep it, Baz.
Right. That's fine.
53 minutes in. People are fatigued. It's Sunday night. We'll save it for Wednesday. Right, okay. The IT department's going to London for 2 days, so I'm left fighting for myself, Baz. It's going to be like Castaway here for a couple of days. It'll be like Megan Wilson, the volleyball, by the time she gets back on Wednesday morning. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Courtney, Josh and Simmers, Simmers should be in bed, frankly. He's got to be up early. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the Champions League. We will. If you're a Newcastle fan, good luck. If you're off to Milan, get amongst it. Really looking forward to it. Good luck to Newcastle. We'll be back on Wednesday night with our review of what's going on, although the Champions League will be live, so we'll be able to sweat some stuff live, but as we're recording the Premier League pick show. We'll be back with the Premier League pick, same time, 8:30 on Wednesday night. Until then, we'll see you down the road. Cheers.